Welcome back to Myth Mental Health. I am Justin Alexander Williams, or Justin A. Williams, and I'm the author of Reborn Virtues Constellation, which you can get on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. And today, what we're going to talk about is mythology from West Africa, particularly in Benin. I'm going to do kind of a series over time of West African mythology, pre-Christian religion, and it's going to be really interesting, really fun. Today we focus on my ancestry. I am in my ancestry on my mother's side. And my father's. I'm from Benin, which is close to Nigeria. It's the specific people that I come from are the Fon people of which was the major ethnicity in the Dahomey Kingdom. And I say kingdom because it's very important to understand that most societies in pre-colonial Africa were kingdoms. And there's nothing wrong with tribes, but I think colonialism has termed Africa in a way where they don't talk about the Great Wall of Benin, right, which was bigger and more easy to see from space than the Great Wall of China. So Benin has a fascinating story. If you saw Woman King, that is the story of that kingdom. Obviously, females had a very empowered position as warriors there, protectors. Very political, right? I think in many ways it jives with some medieval beliefs about eunuchs and manhood and patriarchy, but it also deals with the liberation of trusting women to defend you. I think no matter how patriarchal you are, I think that's very interesting. But let's start with the myth. So the world cosmology in the Fon people's beliefs started off with a great creator. And this creator was, in like Genesis, um, benevolent and loved its creation, but it didn't say, oh, here's a creation and it's good. The Fon believe that the creator stayed active. This is kind of like not the deist model where the creator creates and moves away. Here, the creator is active and gives specific things and talents and tools to humanity. Picture like an Osirian character where Osiris is teaching how to farm, teaching music, teaching different things. There's not really a story of conflict here. In a lot of mythologies of the time, you're going to have, like in Sumerian, right, Marduk versus Tiamat, right? Some conflict, some cataclysm creates the world. Here you just have Mawulisa. Mawulisa is the twin gods that really help order the cosmos. Lisa being the male and Maru being the female. They're brother and sister. And then from then you have various gods. You have a trickster entity, you have a snake entity, and the snake is benevolent here. In many, what I would say, Western and North and Eastern and Egyptian, Kemetic beliefs, snakes are not evil. Snakes are to be revered. And snakes are seen as kind of these parental characters, even, which I find very interesting. You could argue that maybe the Old Testament, Torah, is a critique of these beliefs, not just opposing them, but also a mentioning of the snake, right? Because in the Garden of Eden, the snake is all knowledge. And that's how it is in the Fon belief. The snake is a knowledge giver. A snake is a giver of light, a giver of fondness, a giver of good tidings, but not to be troubled with, not to be disrespected. As you could probably tell from them that they revered what they feared. And I find that psychology very fascinating. And I think that's what my main point today is that different societies look at fear differently. Well, for example, a lot of Native American traditions look at spiders with reverence. Anansi is another character that's in West African myth that's seen with reverence. I know for me personally, I probably wouldn't put much reverence into spiders. I've always had a weird kind of, I don't know about fear, but awkwardness, antsiness that they're in the room when I was a kid, or that they're gonna crawl on me when I sleep, or I didn't want to look them face to face. But that's just my psychology, and I grew up in the Western world. In non-Western traditions, often what you fear, a thing that would connote fear or danger, like a snake, is elicits a kind of reverence and respect, and not only respect, but um, benevolence from it, that these are characters that are good for us. And I find that dichotomy interesting, in our own lives, how maybe we should approach things that we fear. Whether it's the fear of being lonely forever, the fear of never finding someone, the fear of death, the fear of life, of living. I think we need to follow the model of the non-Western looking way of looking at it, which is that what you fear is revealing the opportunity to be brave. It's revealing the opportunity to overcome. It's revealing this thing that maybe it's not it. It's I who needs to make the change. I need to create a greater sense of positivity in myself. And then, thus, the thing that I fear has value and use and can be a product of my journey and my triumph. Um, Very fascinating. I had a conversation with someone today. I was at work, and it was a good conversation, but it was making me feel as though I had a crucible that I was not overcoming. And so I looked into the Dahomey stories, and I found that there's many myths and stories in the Dahomey tradition of uncharacteristic characters overcoming some great odd. Different than the Greek model. The Greek model is, Perseus is always strapping and he's the descendant of a god, and, Odysseus is a descendant of a god. To be a hero, you had to be of a certain rank. But in Dahomey stories, much like stories you can find in other African traditions, the hero is often not necessarily the characteristics of the kind of Superman Henry Cavill not model. I think that speaks in my final point to who needs the most to overcome fear. And it's often not those that you think can do it easily to rise to be the hero. What we need in society are those that are really struggling with things like mental health, um, confidence, anxiety, loneliness, and don't necessarily have the tools to overcome those things very easily. I think those are people that maybe you say traditionally would be someone who maybe doesn't feel like they're handsome enough, maybe doesn't feel like they're tall enough, maybe doesn't feel like they're um, athletic enough. These are people that I think tell the most compelling stories when they do overcome fear and they overcome doubt and they become conquerors and they become the looking glass self, right? Like the thing you fear is what you are, or you can become what you fear and empower yourself off of that. So I think my main message for me to take from this and from you to take from this is that looking at Dahomey stories will empower you to become wiser in the face of danger and metaphorical danger. It doesn't have to be physical danger like a car coming at you. The danger of just life, the hardships and the struggles that come. And I'll say one more allegory. When I was struggling a long time ago, I was nomadic. I didn't have a place to stay. Um, I remember specifically that I had to walk a great distance. And I remember to motivate myself, because I was in pain. My shoes were tattered, my clothes were tattered. Um, I remembered watching the movie 300 and watching the story of the Spartans. And so I imagined that they were cheering me on. And it became a thing where I was motivating myself in the face of great fear because I did not know where I was going to sleep that night or go. Um, and I overcame it and became the person I am today. And giving you this message that whether it's a Spartan model you like or the Dahomey Women King, the Fon people created some of the greatest warriors, diplomats, builders of all time. And we need to imbue that in ourselves so that we can overcome fear, so that we can model our society for greatness too. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. buy the right book, Reborn, Virtue's Constellation, and I'll see you next time.